everyone, welcome to another episode of The Front. As always, you can check out the website at leadtheteam.net for free sales training, for motivational content, and for leadership tips. And if you would, cruise on over to leadtheteam.tv and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that little bell icon so you get notified when new episodes are uploaded, which I happen to do every Wednesday and Sunday, and I would love to have you join me for that. If you're interested in the podcast, those are available on just about every podcast platform there is, so make sure you can tune in that way. Now today, I'm going to be talking about a couple of specific leadership skills right now on The Front.
Thanks for tuning in to Lead the Teams, The Front.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and join me today. My name is Mike Phillips and I will be your host. This is The Front, and today I'm talking about two specific leadership skills that we're going to have a conversation on. Now, I do spend a lot of time talking about leadership and some theory behind it and things that make leaders and managers effective. The two things that I'm talking about today, I'm going to be specific. These are skill sets that can be learned. And yes, while I may have mentioned these before, this is what's speaking to me right now. So that's one of the things, if you haven't tuned into other episodes of The Front, that's how I roll, right? Whatever is affecting me in my life, I figure if it's affecting one person, it's probably going to speak to somebody else too. So that's what we're going to share today. Now, obviously, these aren't the only two leadership or management skills that will allow you to be a super successful business person or leader or manager, right? These are just two that I'm focusing on today. And I will tell you, I've got lots of other leadership shows. Specifically, if you want to tune back into The Front number 14, it's all about leadership accountability. And there's a good set of skills and traits there that you could take the time to listen to and maybe take notes on as well. So for today, the two skills that I'm going to be focusing on, number one is active listening, and number two is follow through. Now, these are two tremendously important skills, and they can allow for a very high level of success if you invest the time to actively utilize the skills and actively learn them. I think both active listening and follow through are things that can be learned. So first, let's talk about active listening. What is active listening? Just as the name suggests, actively listening to another person. It means you're engaging all of your senses to listen to and take in what the other person has to say. It's not just passively hearing them. It's not like running the TV in the background or running the radio in the background. It's actually sitting down, making eye contact with the individual, putting away the cell phone, putting away the social media, and truly investing in the one person that is there in front of you. Active listening sometimes will involve taking notes, because then you can go back and review what it is that you spoke about with the person so that you have a true and real understanding and meaning of what it is that they're telling you and sharing with you. Especially in a leadership role, this shows the other person that they have value. And when the other person has value and they can see that you're invested in them, they will trust you more. They'll be willing to tell you things that need to happen in your business, either as a whole, as a team, or sometimes for you as an individual, as a leader, as a manager, somebody needs to sometimes have the confidence to be able to look you in the eye and say, hey, you know what, Mike, what we're doing here, this is kind of dumb. We shouldn't be doing this. Because if they don't feel that what they say to you, that you'll listen to, or that it has any weight or has merit, lots of times people won't tell you the things that you really need to hear as a leader. So let's get into the second one. It's follow through. Follow through for me, and you've heard me say this probably hundreds of times before. If you've tuned into any episodes of The Front, follow through is huge. Follow through is simply doing what you say you will do, when you say you will do it, and with whom. I'm going to repeat that. It's doing what you say you will do, when you say you will do it, and with whom. Now, in addition to that, follow through is doing checkpoints along the way. Follow through is following up with the person after the task is completed so that they know that it was important enough for you to go back and have a checkpoint with them and tell them that it's done. Tell them, hey, listen, here's what I did. You don't need to have pom-poms. You don't need to be a cheerleader for yourself and say, hey, look what I did. Hey, I did what I said I would. That's not what it's about. I'll give you an example that's often a hot topic. Let's say a staff member comes to you as their manager, as their leader. You're in a position to answer questions for them on payroll. The staff member comes to you and says, hey, I don't understand the outcome of my payroll. I don't think my pay is right or something along those lines. And you tell the person, hey, you know what? I'll check on that for you and I'll find out the answer. And then you don't do it. How quickly does that burn the bridge? The person distrusts you. They feel that you are not someone that does what you'll say you'll do. They're this is their livelihood and you're not taking the time to follow through with what you said? Really? Like that's just insane to me. So it's one of those things that as a manager, as a leader, sometimes it may seem simple to us, like, hey, this is a simple payroll question. If you tell somebody you're going to go ask that simple payroll question, go ask the question, get the answer, offer them checkpoints. Hey, I could or I couldn't get into it with the human resources person or the office manager or whoever it is that does the payroll. And if it's you that does the payroll, for goodness sake, sit down with them right then. Show them that they're important and go through it with them and get clarity. So for those of us in leadership and management roles, executive roles, one of the biggest lies that we tell ourselves is we say to ourselves, what? Well, I'm too busy. I don't have the time to invest in that person, or I don't have the time to be able to follow through on this one thing, that one thing, right? Well, busy is a state of mind. And if something or someone is important enough to you, you will always find the time. It's amazing how we find the time. The busy gets pushed off the table and we're always able to find the time when something is important enough to us. So these things, actively listening to your people and following through with what you say you will, they have to carry enough weight. They have to have enough value to you to make the time to do them. So these two skills can carry you so far in leadership. Active listening, right? Sitting down, getting rid of the distractions, looking somebody in eye to eye, and not just passively hearing what they have to say, but really actively listening to take it all in. Take notes if it's necessary. And then the second one, you got to follow through with what you say you will and do it when you say you will. It's so important to build trust in an organization. And for you as a leader or manager, whatever position you're in, if you're somebody that wants to be in a leadership role, this is something you got to practice what you preach. That's how you get there. So that's the whole message on the front today. So thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and join me. I really appreciate it. If you've gotten something out of this episode, please give it a thumbs up, share it on your social media, subscribe to the YouTube channel, look up the podcast on Google Play or iTunes or Spotify or any of those places. Participate in the comments down below. I would love to engage you in a conversation, and sometimes that leads to really excellent future shows. And until we speak next, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. We'll talk to you soon, everybody.